Pornchai Popraingam. Now, he claims to have had about 60 professional fights and to have lost fewer than 10. He's got a reputation of being pretty tough and also for having a big punch. So I would imagine that Rudkin's going to play it fairly carefully in the early stages. Alan Rudkin, 26, the former British and Empire champion. There's no doubt at all that Rudkin has got to win this fight if he wants to stay in contention for the world bantamweight title. Well, it hasn't been an altogether convincing start by Alan Rudkin. He's found a bit of difficulty with Popraingam, who's a little taller than he is, has a good long reach, and is a little bit useful with those sweeping left hooks. Now, that's the best right hand Rudkin's landed so far. We're in the second round, and Popraingam left a little bit open mouth there by the force of the right hand from Rudkin. That's the right hand that knocked out Ronnie Jones of America in Rudkin's last fight in the second round. He's hoping to do the same here. Well, this second round has been a very much better one from Rudkin. He made a slow start, he felt the man out, but now he seems to be getting on top. No doubt whatever that that right hand of Rudkin's really shook the Thailander. I think he was surprised by the force with which it landed. Well, it's a good second round for Alan Rudkin, the former British and Empire champion, who's already fought once for the world bantamweight title. Here's the Thailander. Looks a pretty tough boy. Rudkin in the third round really getting confident and using that right hand a lot now, and he's worrying Popraingam with it. Again and again he's getting the right hand across. No doubt at all that Rudkin has suddenly found the way to use the right hand. Second round was good for Rudkin, and now the third one is as well, and he's going out in front now. Rudkin piling them in this third round with both hands. Well, Rudkin must be well out in front now, my card. We're in the fifth round, and he's keeping up the pressure on Popraingam, who hasn't really had much success since the first. Being forced to retreat most of the way, his left hands are falling short, and Rudkin really now seems to have got his measure. The question now is whether Rudkin has got the punch with which to put this man on the floor. Popraingam was recently knocked out in 5 rounds by Jesus Castillo, the Mexican bantamweight champion, who's one of the leading contenders for the world title. Popraingam hasn't looked as confident since the second round when he was caught by that first big right hand. Signs now that the Thailander is getting a little bit worried and wild. We're in the 6th round now, and still Rudkin keeping up the pressure, but he still hasn't managed to put the man on the floor. Very nearly they've forced him to slip. Rudkin is now a very long way in front by my scoring. Well, now we're reaching the later stages of this fight. And really now, Popraingam has got to pull a big punch out of the bag if he's going to save this, because I think Rudkin is so far in front already that it's possible now only a knockout can save the Thailander. This is the 8th round. Rudkin's had a little bit of a breather in the 7th. He just slowed the pace down a little bit. I wondered if he was tiring, but it looks now in the 8th as though he's got all his strength back, and he really is now again piling into Popraingam. He doesn't seem to me to have had any success since the first round. He might just have shaded the first, or even though that is doubtful, but he certainly hasn't won one since the first round. There's the bell to end the 9th, and Popraingam has now really got to do something if he's going to save this fight. He must be an absolute mile behind on points. He's adept at the Siamese style of fighting with feet. Might be the only thing that could save him. Three minutes now, 3 minutes in which the Thailander has got to try to save this fight, and 3 minutes also in which Rudkin must try to put this man on the floor. One would have thought that he might have done this. Popraingam has been knocked out. He's been stopped a few times by various people high up in the world bantamweight rankings. And if Rudkin can't do this, it might be a little bit significant that maybe he lacks the punch in the very top class. Can't be any question at all. This is a very confident performance by Alan Rudkin. He really hasn't had a moment's worry since the first round. He looked just a shade cautious and apprehensive, perhaps a little bit in the first round, but after that it's been Rudkin all the way. And referee Roland Dakin is going to have very much trouble with this decision. One slight query you might raise against Rudkin's performance here is really this lack of ability to put Popraingam on the floor. But he's done everything else. And there's the bell to end it here at Nottingham. A nice sporting finish to this fight. I don't think there can be any doubt about the decision. And there isn't it. Alan Rudkin, Roland Dakin gives the decision to Alan Rudkin. That's a good world-class performance by the former British and Empire bantamweight champion.